Today we talked about binomial radical expressions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and even kind of dividing, but we ended up multiplying with that as well. So if we look at example 1, and these are simplified from the notes we did in class, just because so many of the examples were similar. 6 squared root of 10 minus 2 squared root of 10. If we take that, first thing we need to look at is, can square root of 10 be reduced? The answer to that is no, because the only numbers that go into 10 are 2 and 5, and we can't take the square root of either of those. So then from there, you just look up the numbers out front. So 6 minus 2 is 4, and I would keep it as square root of 10. So that's kind of like if I asked you to take 6x minus 2x, I would get 4x. That x stayed x from there. Alright, example 2, I have 4 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 3. Square root of 2 can't be reduced, square root of 3 cannot be reduced, so I cannot combine. Therefore, my answer is what I started off with. Alright, square root of 50 plus 3 square root of 32 minus 5 square root of 18. Alright, I cannot combine them the way they are, but we need to see if we can simplify and then combine if possible. So to simplify, since they're square roots, I'm going to find the biggest perfect square that goes into it. Biggest perfect square that goes into 50 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5, so I'm left with square root of 2. Okay, in this case, I'm going to bring that 3 down. Biggest perfect square that goes into 32 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So then I'm going to have plus the 3 from the front. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 2. Okay, bring that negative 5 down. Square root of 9 times square root of 2. So negative 5 times square root of 9 is 3 square root of 2. So this becomes 5 square root of 2 plus 12 square root of 2 minus 15 square root of 2. So if I go ahead and take those, since they're all the square root of 2, but I take those numbers out front, 5 plus 12 minus 15, I get 2 square root of 2. So there's your answer. Example 4, we're going to multiply 7 plus 2 square root of 3 times 5 minus square root of 3. In this case, we'll FOIL or use distribution, same thing. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times negative square root of 3 is negative 7 square root of 3. 2 square root of 3 times 5 is 10 square root of 3. 2 square root of 3 times square root of 3 is negative 2 square root of 9. And square root of 9 is 3. So if I take those two things and multiply them, I get negative 6. So if I take my numbers and combine them, 35 minus 6 is 29. And negative 7 square root of 3 plus 10 square root of 3 is 3 square root of 3. So combine those, and since they both don't have a square root of 3, then that's your answer. Alright, last one. I have 3 minus 2 square root of 10 divided by 10 minus square root of 7. So you're going to rationalize, which we talked about on Tuesday, which means we want to get rid of the square root on the bottom. So in this case, because it's a binomial, we have to rationalize the denominator by multiplying by the conjugate. And the conjugate is if, let's say I had a plus b to begin with, it would become a minus b. So I'm just flipping that sign in the middle. So in this case, this becomes 10 plus square root of 7, and I'm going to do that to the top and the bottom, because now I'm multiplying by 1, which doesn't change our function. So let's FOIL. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times square root of 7 is 3 square root of 7. Negative 2 times square root, or negative 2 square root of 7 times 10 is negative 20 square root of 7. Negative 2 square root of 7 times square root of 7 is negative 14, and I went ahead and changed that to the number. Okay, 10 times 10 is 100, plus 10 square root of 7 minus 10 square root of 7 minus 7. Okay, square root of 7 times square root of 7 is 49, which is 7. And in this case, I had 2 times that 7, because I still had square root of 49, which gave me the 14. So if we combine on top, 30 minus 14 is 16, and 3 minus 20 is negative 17, square root of 7. On the bottom, 100 minus 7 is 93, and the square root of 10 square root of 7 minus 10 square root of 7 go away. So that was the whole point, was to get rid of the square root on the bottom. So our final answer is 16 minus 17 square root of 7 divided by 93. The assignment for this is A8, page 388, 4 through 6 all, 28 through 44 even. Please let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.